Hello, and welcome to today's episode of Her Version. This podcast is dedicated to sharing stories of struggle to triumph, a platform that allows individuals to tell their truth in order to inspire and uplift others. I am your host, Sabrina Victoria. If you are new to this podcast, make sure you follow, like, subscribe, and share. Let's jump right in. Finding and getting to know your inner child is what we're talking about today. I certainly hope that you guys are having a wonderful Tuesday. It is 11-ish in the morning here in the beautiful state of Florida. If you are watching me now live, let me know where you are from and let me know what the weather is. Listen, I have been on a journey of reading my journal entries from my past life, basically. For those of you that don't know, pretty much every Monday, I sit down with you guys for an hour a week and I read through my old journals. And while I have been doing that, I have been connecting with my inner child on a level that I never thought possible. And the more that I'm going through this, I am now on episode 20, which I will be doing later today, even though it's Tuesday. And as I've been going through this, I have really, really understood the importance of really connecting and remembering and realizing the person that you were growing up and how much it really helps us identify things that are happening in our life as an adult. So yesterday we were talking about how to start healing your inner child, how to stop healing your inner child. And we went over all sorts of awesome things. If you missed that video, it is literally the video right before this video. So just kind of scroll or look to the side. Maybe I'll remember to put it up in the corner here. Either way, one of the things that it talked about was journaling. And one of the things, luckily for me, my mother really did a really great job of making sure I was writing in some sort of a journal or getting my thoughts down. Now, whether or not she was doing that for my mental health, who knows? Because there really was no such thing as mental health back then or emotional health. Or if she just did it because she wanted to kind of peek every once in a while to make sure I wasn't doing anything suspicious as a young child, I have no idea. But I am extremely grateful now as a 39-year-old woman being able to reread those and see where my mindset was at that point. One of the things that I really, really do recommend for my clients to do and for my audience to do is to write in some sort of a journal. I actually have journals that I have created for you guys. They are on Amazon. If you go to amazon.com/author/Sabrina Victoria, I have 10 different designs of beautiful matte journals, fully lined, 100 pages long. All designed absolutely beautiful for all sorts of personalities within the realm. These are great for your children, for your daughters, and for you as an adult to be able to go back, remind yourself, and reminisce about your childhood. I cannot stress enough how important it is to be writing. One of the things that I have done throughout my entire life is I am always writing things down. I'm writing things in frustration form. I'm writing things in idea form. I'm creative. Anything where I'm thinking, I'm like, wow, this is brilliant, or wow, this is impactful, or wow, I can't believe this. I allow myself to sit and write, and I can't tell you how many notebooks I have filled filled with my words and my writings about all of the things that have happened in my life, all of the ideas I have for my future. And that's one of the reasons why I have decided to create these journals, is because I realize that we all have different personalities. We all have different creativities that are going on in our lives and different designs that we appreciate. So there's so many different designs. It's 100 pages of just content that you're going to be able to fill. So today I want to talk about getting to know your inner child. And, one of the things that I'm sure you can relate to is the fact that just in life in general, I'm sure that there has been a time where you think to yourself, or you've said out loud, I am trying to channel my inner child. You might be playing tag, with your children, or you might be jumping into a pool, or you might have a Nerf war gun with your neighbors, or a Nerf gun war with your neighbors. And, kind of get that adrenaline rush of what it was like to be a kid. And you might even say that out loud, like, ooh, I was really channeling my inner child. And what a great and wonderful and exhilarating feeling that usually is for us. And that's kind of what I want to talk about today is, there's going to be two types of individuals that are going to be listening to this. There's going to be individuals that don't remember anything that was significantly memorable in a happy way with their childhood. And then there's going to be other people that I talk to that do have wonderful memories in and about their childhood. And what I've come to realize over the time is there is a great amount of people who have a little bit of both. They have situations in their childhood that they try to forget, that they don't want to remember, and then other sections of their childhood that are great and wonderful and carefree and fun and creative. On the outlier side, there's individuals who had an amazing childhood and don't really remember anything negative. And then there's people on the opposite that predominantly have just negative things. And what I want to really stress here is it doesn't matter what sort of childhood you kind of came from. It doesn't really matter what kind of childhood you came from. What matters is being able to connect with the inner child that you either did have or that you wish you had. And that's what I really want to talk about right now, is the fact that you kind of need to keep an open mind, that everybody's different. Everyone's childhood is different. One of the things that I really have come to realize while I've been reading through my own journals is that there's so many situations that I had growing up that I totally 100% forgot about. And a lot of this has to do with the fact that our brains in general start to generalize. So you generally have an idea of what your childhood looks like. And then what you do is you decide that that is what your childhood looks like. And you start to kind of build bricks around that idea. And the bricks that are around that idea are bricks that actually state that that thought of your childhood or that situation is true. Any ideas or any memories that you had that prove that to be false, you kind of toss aside. So, I had growing up this thought process of my childhood being kind of strict and kind of tight and kind of dark. And not to say that I don't recall amazing amazing things that happened, playing Barbies, playing store. My parents always threw a slumber party for us every single year with piñatas and food and potato sack races, and super, super fun. But as I'm reading through these journals, I'm starting to realize that there is actually so many more amazing things that happened during my life that I didn't necessarily remember or put a lot of focus or emphasis on. And also realizing that some of the situations that I was in where I felt at the time, and I kind of stamped it as, this isn't fair, this isn't fair. This isn't fair. Now reading back, now realizing how old I actually was, I'm actually saying out loud, like, wow, yeah, that totally should have happened. That the way that went down, the way my parents handled that totally should have been that way. Um, so it's so important as we're growing up to kind of reanalyze and kind of refresh our mind with or without those journals as to how we have decided as grown-ups to generalize our childhood. And I'm really looking for you to sit back and start to meditate. One of the things that we talked about yesterday is how important it is to sit and meditate in silence. There's so much stuff that's consistently bombarding our lives all the time, so much noise all of the time. It's so important to allow yourself a good 10 to 20 minutes, either before you get up or before you go to sleep or right when you get up, to sit and really think about your life. Think about the things that you have going on. Think about, maybe arguments that you've had or situations that you've put in that may connect with something that happened in your childhood. Maybe the way you reacted with something. Try to find some sort of a connection to how you reacted to a situation as to how that might have stayed with you throughout your child, teenage, and adult years, and how if you don't decide to sit and start making changes regarding that reaction, that you're literally possibly going to be stuck in the same life, in the same situation, in the same frustration for the duration of your life, because you're not really doing anything that is actually pivoting your reaction to that, because you're still staying in that state of mind from when you were a child or from when you were a teenager, or traumatic things that happened to you throughout your life. So one of the things that I recommend is to look at children for guidance. And I know this sounds weird. If you have children yourself, okay, one of the things that I did that I know a lot of parents don't do, because I have been to hundreds of parks in the duration of my son's childhood, but parents love to sit. And when I was growing up, or when my son was growing up, cell phones weren't really a thing yet. They were kind of like the flip phones. So maybe they would sit and read a book. Maybe parents would sit and talk. Maybe they would just sit and sit. Nowadays, people or parents are sitting on the sidelines looking at their phone, okay? Because you have the entire newspaper, books, and social media on your phone. What I'm going to suggest for you to do is to put that stuff away. If you are taking your child to the park, there needs to be a thought process in your head of, hey, I'm taking my child to the park. This is a great situation for me to be in, to really connect with my inner child, whether it's the inner child you wish you had, or the childhood that you wish you had, or the childhood that you did have, and to go and allow yourself to feel and act like a child. And I guarantee you that all the other children in the park are not going to judge you. And I guarantee you that all the parents sitting on the sideline are going to be jealous of you. It's really, really important to allow yourself time to be able to connect to your inner child, to the things that used to bring you joy, and allowing children to be able to guide you and how much fun it is to be a child is so important. So whether you have your own children or whether you borrow someone's children, go to the park, go to museums, play Candyland, play house, allow yourself to hold hands, but hold hands in the essence of they're protecting you and you're protecting them. And allow yourself to really embrace that feeling of what being a child is like. Watching movies, watching cartoons, rereading some of your favorite books by yourself or with another and allowing the excitement to bubble in or bubble up within you will really, really make a difference in how you are connecting with and realize that whether or not you had the quote unquote an ideal childhood or not, you can embrace a new storyline for yourself if you choose to. It's really important to realize that a lot of this is choice. A lot of it is choice. A lot of it, you are deciding on your own to either sit in the muck, sit in the mud of all of the possible disturbing, frustrating, or traumatic things that happened in your life, one, or two, allow yourself to recognize, sit in it, feel for it, hold and be patient with yourself and your childhood, and then allow yourself to grow and expand and blossom from that by reliving some of these situations and recalling what it could have been like or what it would have been like if the situation was a little bit different. So revisiting childhood memories is also a really good one. Go back through videos, go back through photos. Now, if any of this is triggering for you, if any of it's triggering for you, allow yourself to sit in that feeling. Allow yourself, allow your heart to feel heavy. Allow yourself to feel the emotions that go along with your childhood and tell yourself, talk to yourself that you're fine. Remind your inner child that you're fine and that you are alive and you are well and that you are progressing and that you are working on your personal development to heal all of the things that have happened in your life. Reminisce about stories. Ask your parents, ask your grandparents, ask siblings, aunts, and uncles to retell stories of your past. Things that maybe were traumatic, things that were happy, things that were super exciting. And it's crazy the things that some people remember vividly and other people don't remember at all. I remember there was this one time, probably like 10 years ago, my sister and I were reminiscing childhood, and she had mentioned bunk beds. I had actually forgot that there was a time in our lives where my sister and I both wanted the top bunk. And instead of it being an argument with like, hey, no, one of you gets bottom bunk, one of you gets upper bunk, end of story. My parents were like, cool. If you want upper bunks, both, we'll put 2 bunk beds in your bedroom. And then underneath, you can have all your dressers, drawer stuff. So my sister and I actually both had bunk beds right next to each other. And then underneath our bunk beds, we had like dressers or desks or something. I don't remember. And then we used to actually drape blankets over the bunk bed and make like a little fort underneath. And I had totally forgotten about this. I had totally forgotten about that entire part of my life until she started to talk about it. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so crazy. And it brought up so many amazing feelings for me of like fun and creativity and bonding with my sister, and how great it was that my parents did that for us, or my dad built that for us. I don't even remember. So this is the thing. There are possibly situations in your life that there was so much fun and there was so much joy, and it's forgotten about, or it's deleted, or it wasn't quite the focus. So sometimes reminiscing with other people in your world or in your life can really bring you back to some of the really, really happy times. And maybe it wasn't with your family. Maybe it was with your friends. Maybe you had a really good, awesome group of friends. So recontacting those friends and reminiscing about things that happened during baseball or soccer or out underneath the bleachers, or in school groups or whatever it was, to allow yourself to realize like, hey, there was some awesome things there were some bad things that happened, and there were really some awesome things that happened. And because of these two things, I am the way I am. And now I get to spend time. I get to spend time to really figure it out, to really sit and figure it out and dissect it and create a journey, create a process for myself to be able to blossom from and work from and grow from. And then this in itself will give me the ability to be able to help my children, help my grandchildren, help my friends' children, be able to work through things. Everything in our life is given to us to teach. And I know that might sound, I want to say condescending. I don't know if that's the word I'm looking for, condescending to some people's stories. However, there are people in situations right now who are dealing with things that you dealt with right now. There are individuals that are crying, that are upset, that are in a dark place right now, and they need somebody like you who's been through the same exact thing, who successfully came out of it, who successfully came out more confident, who successfully came out more powerful, not because it just happened, not because you're just so strong, but because you took the time to actually sit, meditate, peel back the layers, journal, reminisce, talk to family and friends to be able to heal yourself so that you can allow some sort of a play by play or a blueprint on how somebody else can do it. What we're doing at that point is we're giving hope to individuals who are in that situation right now. One of the other things that I'm going to say is it's important to spend time doing things that you used to love to do. So, one of the things that I remember really loving to do was playing with Legos. My mom had so many Legos. My mom actually ran a daycare for a really, really long time. And we always had a ton of Legos. So when my son was growing up, was getting older, one of the things that we loved to do was play Legos. And I swear there came a point, probably when he was maybe 12, where he no longer really wanted to play Legos, but he would play Legos because he knew how much I love to play Legos. But this is the thing. That is stuff that you can do, things that you really loved doing. I encourage you to do. If you really liked going to the beach, go to the beach. If you really enjoyed going to the pool and going down the slides, go down the slides by yourself, with your kids, with somebody else's kids, and allow yourself to feel the joy and feel the happiness that is like unbound from adult stress and all of the things that we're constantly having to think about and to worry about. It's okay to sit and laugh and have fun like a child. It's okay. And it's good for you. It's good for you to act like your inner child, and it's good for you to talk to your inner child. I think that one of the best ways to get in touch with your inner child is to actually have a conversation with them. There are wounds and there is trauma that has happened in some of our lives, and allowing yourself to reconnect, allowing yourself to kind of tap in and perhaps understand some of the reasons that we have certain fears or that we act certain ways or that we have certain triggers is to tell yourself, hey, listen, I act the way I act in this situation because of this. And then say to yourself, I am no longer a child. I no longer have to act like this. I can actually now communicate because I have the words and the vocabulary to be able to do that. I can actually speak my words because I no longer feel as if I have parents or grandparents or people judging me. So I can be my authentic self as I authentically am One of the beautiful things about growing up right now in 2021, going into 2022, is the fact that so many people throughout the years have really paved the way for us to be our authentic self. There is no better time in history, I guarantee you, where you have more voice, you have more power than you've ever had in the generations past. It's something to feel grateful for. It's something to feel blessed for. So to be able to talk to your inner child and to be able to say, hey, listen, what we dealt with in our past sucked real bad. You can say that. Hey, it sucked real bad to grow up in that situation, to have those rules, to have those restrictions, to have had gone through whatever it was, being hit, being beat, being raped, not having food, living in situations that were less than ideal. And that sucked real bad. But I am good and I am healthy and I am okay. And I now have the strength and the vocabulary and the tools to be able to communicate correctly, to be able to say my feelings or say my words without feeling restraint. And reminding yourself that, yes, it was bad. However, now it is good and you made it and you survived and you survived. So listen, one of the things that I really want to talk about, not only the importance of journaling, which I was talking about earlier, which I have my journals here at amazon.com/authorshead/Victoria, Sabrina Victoria. I have 10 beautiful designs. I'm working on 10 more to be dropped soon. I'm going to say that it is important to talk to somebody. It's important to talk to somebody. So I am a coach. I've been in the narcissistic abuse arena for a very long time, as far as helping people refocus, helping people with their time management, helping people with their organization of their thoughts and refocusing their life into something that's beautiful, allowing us to really take off that extra garbage that so many of us carry around. So many of us are carrying around our luggage, our past, all of our stuff, our feelings, our darkness, our trauma. And when it scares people because we're so filled up with all of these thoughts and all of these things that when we meet people, we just vomit out all of this, just our whole story, and it scares people away. And what I would really love to do is to be able to unleash, to be able to unhook you, to be able to take off those handcuffs from your past. Yes, we have to acknowledge our past. Yes, we have to be proud of our past. Yes, we have to realize that there's things, there's trauma, there's triggers that have happened in our past that are coming forward. And we can now take all of that off and we can grow in our power, stand confidently with 2 feet on the ground, speak well, talk well, articulate our feelings, learn to communicate. Learn to communicate from the heart, from the soul, the things that we feel. But the only way that we can do that is if we really start to unpack the things that have happened in your past. And I would love to do that with you if that is something that you felt was necessary to do in order to really move forward. So I'm going to ask if that is something that you do need or that you can see as being a benefit for you in your future, to reach out to me. Reach out to me here in the comments. Reach out to me in my direct message. I have Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, my website at herversion.life. You can connect with me there. I'd be happy. I'd be more than happy to sit down and figure this stuff out with you. So listen, thank you so much. I will be on a little bit late, around 1 o'clock, and I'll be doing my Monday journal readings from Monday. And I will be doing an hour of that. And then later on today at 4 o'clock Eastern, I'm going to be sitting down with Lauren. And Lauren is a woman that I have been excited about talking about. She's going to be talking about her past as a workaholic, a perfectionist, a people pleaser, an apologizer. And she's going to be sitting down with me and talking about how to do it all, still feel sane, still feel balanced, going through the ebb and flow of life. So she will be on at 4 p.m. Eastern. My journal reading will be at 1 p.m. Eastern. Always good, amazing, fantastic information being thrown at you here with me. Spread the word. Spread the word. If you have lady friends who seem to be stuck in the muck, seem to be stuck in all of the junk and they can't get out, throw them my way. Let them know about my content. There are so many beautiful females that are consistently on this platform sharing their stories of struggle and how they have gotten out, the steps that they've taken to be able to be triumphant in their life and really be at a good place despite their past. And that's what this platform is all about. So thank you so much for joining me here on Her Version. If you have an amazing story to share of struggle to triumph, be sure to reach out to me here or at herversion.life. I am your host, Sabrina Victoria. I am so grateful to be here sharing a platform that allows people to share their truth and inspire others. Do something awesome today. Much love.